if there's two versions of you, one of them is operating at 40%. The other version is operating at 100%, but took a little bit of a break, right? Say a 2-week break. Within a very short time span, that version of you that's operating at 100% is going to be able to pass that version that was operating at 40% with no breaks, no questions asked. So take that break, take that time, find that peace, and get yourself back to 100% efficiency. Get yourself that tune-up, because we all need it and we all deserve it. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Success Spectrum Podcast. I'm your host, Kadeem McLean, and today we're talking about finding your peace. To start, let's talk about vehicles, right? We'll get there, finding your peace, but vehicle maintenance. A lot of us might drive vehicles, cars, SUVs, whatever the case might be, and these cars take a lot of maintenance. There's a whole bunch of different working parts that allow the vehicle to operate at 100%. You got the spark plugs, you got the filters, right? Oil filter, gaskets, you got the suspension, different parts in the engine. Now, specifically the spark plugs, right? If the spark plugs are not working the way they're supposed to, they're not firing off when they're supposed to, the engine does not have the type of power it needs to be able to propel your vehicle in the way that it's supposed to be propelled. It's not running at 100% efficiency. Even if you have all the, you got an oil change, the gas is filled, it doesn't matter, because the vehicle might be operating at, let's say, 80 or 70%, even 60, depending on how long you wait to get those spark plugs changed, right? It's called the tune-up. Even if, again, you fill that gas tank, your gas tank is all the way full, the power in the engine is reduced. Therefore, the car is not going to operate as efficiently with the power that it's supposed to. And humans, people, you and I, we're the same, right? We need to take time to rest and restore. And I'll give you an example of that. Vincent van Gogh, right? The artist, I'll call him. He would often take periodic breaks, and it ultimately helped him with his artistic journey. Right? There's a bunch of people I can name for you, actually. The Beatles, Bob Dylan, Adele, Frank Ocean, John Lennon, right? There's a whole bunch, all of these people, and there's a whole bunch more, but all of these people would take regular breaks, or they would at some point in their journey take a break. And then after that break, it led to them releasing what some of them would say is their masterpieces or some of their greatest hits, right? In the Bible, I heard recently, and when I thought about it, I was like, wait a second, that's true. It would often say before Jesus performed a big miracle, it would say, and Jesus retreated. He's taking time away. He's taking a break. He's taking a pause. He's going into his peace to come back and be at 100% efficiency to perform whatever miracle would be required of him. Right? And recently, actually, I went on a trip. So I'm recording this in September, right, 2024. Since last September, I have just been on go. I have just been going consistently, constantly in work, right, the job, in businesses, in just everything. I've been on 100%. I've been going at what I thought was 100%, right? Because if, like the spark plugs, I'm not running at 100% efficiency, though I have my tank is at 100%, my gas tank, I'm only giving 100% of whatever I have, because my power output is only at 60%, because I didn't change the spark plugs, I didn't change whatever it might be, whatever parts of the vehicle, but my gas tank is full 100%. So I'm running at 100% of 70% or 60%, whatever power I can produce, if that makes sense, right? So I need to take a break, ultimately, is what I'm getting at. And I went to somewhere in Quebec, maybe I'll show some B-roll on here, called Mont Tremblant. I hope that I pronounced that correctly. It's a ski resort, it's a mountain, and it has a little town, I guess you could say, towards the end of the mountain. You have to drive up the mountain a little bit to get there. But it was beautiful, right? Beautiful. That's my type of peace. I didn't necessarily know that 100% before I went there, but it's my type of peace, right? And what I needed was some clarity on some things. And I went up there, spent some time with God, quiet time, peaceful time. I knew, of course, that I like to hike. I like that type of scenery, but I didn't necessarily know going there would provide the type of peace that I was looking for, because I didn't even look up any pictures or anything along those lines. I've heard of Mont Tremblant. I was looking for somewhere that had, let's say a mountain, because I like scenery like that. I like the trees, seeing all the water and so on. And it was, again, such a peaceful time, quiet. But then I also went to Ottawa for a day. And I was walking around Ottawa, saw Parliament and so on. And I'm like, it's nice, but this isn't it for me. Right? So I have an idea. And now I know, since I took that trip to Mont Tremblant, to Quebec, now I know for sure where I can go to be in an environment of peace, right? Which will then ultimately help me to be at peace. And now a word from our sponsor. If you want to learn to amass your wealth in stocks, bonds, real estate, in commodities, if you want to learn how to protect your wealth or transfer generationally down the line in the way that you want it to be transferred, this book right here is a must read for you. The Legacy of a Silver Spoon: Managing Wealth and Relationships by Al Compton. You must get yourself a copy because you need it. If you want to do anything that I just mentioned, without reading this book, you're not going to be able to do it in the way that you want to get it done. You might not even know that there's different types of trust or which type of trust you need. This book will help you in determining that. You might not even know what a stock is or what a bond is. This book will teach you every piece of information you need to know financially to get you from where you are to where you want to be. Go ahead and click that link in the description to get yourself a copy. Because just going up the mountain, I climbed the mountain. It was supposed to take me 2 hours. I took the wrong route. Long story short, I'll give you this story. So I climb up a little bit, and then there's this section where you can go off left where there's a trail. You can go right and just go straight up where there's another trail. And that trail leads to the top of the mountain. This trail on the left, I thought, also led to the top of the mountain. But I was going up the path on the right because everybody else went left. I was going up on my own, the path on the right. I come across a pack of deer. There's maybe 6 deer. And I'm like, okay. And meanwhile, I know deer are docile. For some reason, I didn't even take the chance. I was like, all right, let me just go back down the mountain and then go to the left. So I ended up going to the left. But I didn't necessarily look at the trail map before I did this. So I heard there was a restaurant at the top of the mountain. So that was my goal. I left around 10:30, maybe 11 a.m. to get to the top of the mountain so I can have lunch up there. Because I was told it would take 2 hours. If I stuck on that route and went past the deer, it would have taken me 2 hours easily. But I went left, and that path on the left goes around the base of the mountain, and then it goes up the mountain, which I found out later. So I traveled an extra maybe 2 kilometers to the side, going around the mountain. And then by the time I realized, I was like, well, it's too late for me to go back. I'm already over halfway. I might as well continue going this way, then go up the mountain. So it took me maybe 3 to 4.5 hours to climb the mountain. But still, I was at peace. I was at peace because the views I saw going that route instead of going straight up, amazing. The camera, the pictures you might see, the B-roll I'm going to put on here, it doesn't even do it justice. It was amazing. Just peace, quiet, beautiful views. Again, the camera, as great as the cameras are nowadays, they did not do it justice. But I'm saying all of this because that trip, like I said, I've never been to Mont Tremblant before. I've heard about it. I knew, I guess I had an idea because it was a mountain, a ski resort, what it would be like in terms of trails. And that's what I was looking for. But I didn't know it would bring me that type of peace. The only way for you to find your rest and your restoration is to find what you find to be peaceful, right? For you to be at peace and find a peaceful environment. That is the only way for you to rest and restore, in my opinion. So try things out, go different places, right? Find a quiet place and read a book. Find a quiet place and, go out for dinner on your own. That might bring you peace, right? Go for a nice long walk wherever you are. You don't have to necessarily take a trip anywhere. I drove over, but you don't have to take a trip anywhere. You can, like I said, go find a nice quiet spot to eat, right? Whether you make a meal and go outside on a picnic bench or whatever the case might be, or you actually go to a restaurant, whatever it is for you. Try different things, because I feel if you don't try different things, you will never know. You constantly go to this restaurant, try going to a restaurant 25 minutes away instead of just 10 minutes down the street. It might be a new environment. It's going to be fresh. And that's what I was looking for on that trip, is a new environment, something fresh, something new, something not necessarily close to home. So maybe you're the same as me and you want to try to find something a little bit further. It was about a 7-hour drive for me to get there. Then I spent a few days there, stopped in Ottawa on my way back, spent the night there, and then came back. And that alone brought me, I feel, the type of rest and direction I needed. So again, this is not about me. This is about you finding your peace. How can you find that? Try reading a book somewhere in a park you've never been before. Try going on a walk somewhere you've never been before. Take a different route home, right? There's these little things that we can do on a daily basis maybe that'll help to bring us a sense of peace. But ultimately, I think taking some time away, a few days, a week, whatever it is, to rest and restore and be in that peaceful environment will help us, because that's our tune-up. That's us changing our spark plugs. That's us getting our oil change. That's us making sure the suspension is running properly. Because even if, and I might be wrong with this, but even if your tires are misaligned, that takes away from the power of the vehicle, because now it's not running efficiently. The tire's misaligned, so it's not going straight per se, right? Therefore, the drag on the tire is taking away some of the efficiency and power of the vehicle. So again, there's all these different parts, not only in vehicles, but in us, right? Our mind, all these different thoughts we have, right? Your body might be tired, your mind might be tired, whatever the case is, but taking time to rest and restore will help us to get back to 100% efficiency, because we can put in all the effort we want. And I was doing that, like I said, since last September for about a full year. I was doing that, but I'm only running on 40% because that's all I can give. Meanwhile, I'm giving everything I have, but it's only 40% of what I can truly put out, what I can truly produce. And you might be in the same boat. You may have been going for longer than I was. You may have been going for 2 years, 5 years, whatever the case is. But find that time to rest and restore. Find your peace, because at the end of the day, we all, first of all, deserve it. Second of all, need it. Right? For anybody who's Christian like me, I, again, heard recently that rest it's an order. It's not something that's an option for us. It's an order. We need to rest. We are supposed to rest. It's a direction. We have to. Right? So take that time and don't necessarily feel bad about it, because I don't know if you heard one of my previous episodes, but I said my mind is constantly on the go, even when I'm on the beach, whatever the case is. This trip, I was finally able to just forget the vast majority of it. I still have to make sure the podcast was released and so on, which I'm going to work on getting something in place for that. But the vast majority of the work, it was just out of my mind. I was at peace. And finding that place of peace is what helped me to be able to just say, forget all these thoughts, forget the work and so on and so forth. Just be at peace, just rest, just be where you are, be where your feet are. Being in that environment, that's what it allowed me to do. And if you're like me, where your mind is constantly on the go, I think finding that right environment will also help you, because it helped me. All right. So find that place of peace for yourself. The only way to do that is to try out different things. Take a break, try different things on a weekend, maybe. Right? Try it on a Saturday or a Friday, come back Sunday, go somewhere, drive somewhere, get a hotel, get a motel, whatever it is. Right? And again, it doesn't have to be anything expensive, but try different things to find your place of peace, because ultimately we think we're slowing down our work. But if there's two versions of you, one of them is operating at 40%. The other version is operating at 100%, but took a little bit of a break, right? Say a 2-week break. Within a very short time span, that version of you that's operating at 100% is going to be able to pass that version that was operating at 40% with no breaks, no questions asked. So take that break, take that time, find that peace, and get yourself back to 100% efficiency. Get yourself that tune-up, because we all need it and we all deserve it. So that's it for me, everyone. Thanks for tuning into the Success Spectrum podcast. I'm again your host, Kadeem, and I hope this was helpful for you. Hopefully it helps you to understand that you need and you deserve to get yourself that tune up and find your peace. All right. I'll see you on the next one.